When Henry and I started talking about what a commission piece at the Cleveland Museum of Art might look like, he wanted to work with his band Zooid, which is a 5-piece band that he's had together for more than 15 years. And he wanted to expand that group with additional chamber musicians who could also read and play like crazy, but also flex, improvise, and learn some of the rules and strategies of Henry's particular kind of music and improvisation technique. And I thought in the several years that we've had a working relationship with the Oberlin Conservatory, I thought to myself, I know somebody who can do this, and I know a group within the conservatory that can do this, and there's only one. It's a contemporary music ensemble under the baton of Tim Weiss.
Well, I came to see the museum, first of all, in Cleveland, and then we came here to see the ensemble, contemporary ensemble, perform. I just wanted to be certain that they were right for this project, you know, and they were. I mean, I knew it right when I heard them, and I knew that Tim was the right person, the conductor, you know.
A few weeks before my semester had started, I had actually gone to the CD store and picked up a handful of Henry Threadgill albums. So when I heard that Henry Threadgill was going to be coming to Oberlin, I was really excited. A few weeks later, Tim Weiss came up to me and asked me if I wanted to play the bass part, and I was super excited for that.
This piece is called Pathways. The next piece I'm going to be doing is called Passages. And Pathway is the road to passages. The earth is the subject matter. All of these things, the rivers and the water formations on earth, all of these are passages and pathways, but it all goes back to the earth and the fact that we really do not understand how great this thing is that we're living on. My idea is one that, like, every time you come to it, it should be different. And you should not be afraid to take chances with it. Whatever your imagination, wherever it takes you, you should follow that with the music. Because that's a new path.
It's flexing, improvising, chamber music, in between genres. There's no easy way to pin down what Henry does or simply read the scores and do what he does. He's very much his own person in this regard.
A lot of people think because I wrote the music, I know the music. I really don't. I don't know it any more than anyone else until I get engaged in it. Because I come in as a player now, not as the person that wrote it. Because I wrote it, that does not mean I know my part. The people in Zooid know a lot more about how I write music, so they're able to move a lot faster. But these young people here have been amazing, how they've adapted to this. They might be students, but they are very advanced musicians, you know, extremely advanced.
When I was learning how to play bass line in some of Henry Threadgill's improv sections, I was always, going up to, Elliot Cavi, the drummer, or Jose Davila, the tuba player, and asking, like, how does this work? And every day I'd kind of get a new piece of the puzzle together. It really didn't feel like there was a divide between, the contemporary music ensemble and Zooid. It felt like a whole unit, which is how it should be.
Tim's sensitivity and perception to, I'm sure, probably all music, but certainly to this music, has just been a godsend. He's the person that's been developing these students along this line of dealing with the contemporary music. And it's just fantastic to see how he's interpreting the music, It's exactly what I wanted. It's not a straitjacket approach.
Nobody had heard a single note of what was going to happen, obviously, world premiere. And it was an evening of new music. A titanic figure, legendary artist, but you still never know what's going to happen. So the thrill and the tension was palpable because the room is full, and Henry and the ensemble walked out. I think they even had a little moment of, whoa, and certainly Tim Weiss did. Hey, this place is packed. We have to do a show here tonight. And I was thrilled because you could hear a pin drop through a piece of music that had some long stretches of very quiet passages or silence. and the measure of all concerts, right? Who's coughing, who's not coughing, who's paying attention. And it was stone silent through the whole thing. I was thrilled. I think Henry was more than thrilled. I know that the young players at the conservatory were over the moon about it.
I mean, it's amazing what people say, you know, like they don't believe that like people will like contemporary music. That's ridiculous. People like everything. Hamburgers, hot dogs, sushi. Look at the range of things that we do in every category, and you know that that's not true. It's definitely not true. We're not that singular in this country or anywhere else.
This project with Henry Threadgill was probably the most perfect thing that could have happened as a part of my individual major. And it's really incredible to have this specific experience as I'm trying to go out in the world and join the creative music community.
The stars aligned in a really interesting way that refortified and revivified all of us. Like, this works, and people are hungry for these connections to great artists in our time.